On to a 1v1 on Fameville Approach. This game is going to be Vulpine versus Cheese. Vulpine, apparently a member of the Hearts of Iron clan. Paul, Vipik, Sarcloud, Tengen. Pretty well-known clan, I would say. So, I'm not familiar with this player. Sort of curious to see what he's going to bring to the table. Cheese playing as Soviets, 3 conscript opening, Vulpine and Oster, 2 grenadiers, not floating, so maybe sniper, I'm not sure. Cheese has immediately chosen conscript support. Good luck with that. Vulpine has chosen mobile defense, mechanized assault, and close air support. And as a loadout, no 0 CP commander selection from him, so let's see what he chooses to do. Conscript set up in green cover here. Grenadiers moving on their right flank. This squad of conscripts making its way to support from this direction. No 4th squad of conscripts queued up yet, so I'm guessing one of these base upgrades. Nope, there it is. There's a squad of grenadiers. They both kind of waited an oddly long time to queue up further units. Need to be a little tighter about that. Tighten up their macro. Try and get those units onto the field quicker to support in these early engagements. It's very important.
This is our sector now. Man down! Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Yes, comrade.
Conscripts taking control of the fuel point. Combat engineers grabbing the munitions.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Taking fucking fire!
Conscripts look like they will be able to get control of this fuel before being forced away. Assuming this engagement is lost, I don't know. It's going to be kind of close. Io's taking pretty heavy damage, but they do drop one model.
Now you can use Molotov.
Looks like those conscripts will lose this, maybe. Kind of an early retreat on those Pios, I don't know. I think he could have stuck around a little bit longer. Meanwhile, conscripts and combat engineers taking control of the entire north. And Molotovs have been researched, which means he's going to get forced from this building very soon. That squad of conscripts does have to retreat from these 2 squads of Grens, and apparently 5 grenadiers are being fielded right now. And grenadier spam is probably the best counter to conscript support tactics, honestly. As long as they're used intelligently. Sticking around in a building that's on fire, probably not a very good thing to be doing. He's gonna need to get himself a medic bunker at some point as well.
Waiting for your command.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
5 cons to 5 Grens. Currently map control pretty firmly in Cheese's control. Pios are gonna lose that. Grenadiers moving to try and assist. Vulpine's quite spread out as he tries to get back control of some fuel and munitions here in the south. He has forced conscripts from this building. Ooh, Cheese not monitoring that engagement, loses a full squad. It's a pretty nice pickup for Vulpine. Might help him pull into the lead a little bit, get some territory back under his control. The north is currently pretty undefended. 1 squad of conscripts moving to counter whatever might happen up here. These 2 Grens could win against 1 conscript squad. Probably couldn't take on any more than that, though, at their current level of HP. Still no commander selection from Vulpine. He does have access to redistribute resources 1 CP from now, which might help him spam LMGs. He's actually going to grab a mortar. Interesting choice. Flamethrower in the retreat path. No, he finally pulled into the lead. And now they're pretty much even. I think they've both suffered 1 squad wipe now. Kills and losses are not even. Vulpine actually has quite a big lead. Yes, they have both lost 1 full squad of infantry. So I would say in the manpower game, Vulpine is ahead, but only narrowly. Having purchased this mortar, he's going to need it to get some pretty good hits. Or he's probably going to continue to fall behind, and clearly his map control has been suffering all game long. He just can't seem to get any territory. Having a mortar will help flush conscripts out of this green cover and out of the building. It's a nice tool to have. But it's not going to help him get any territory back. Still no medic bunker either. Meanwhile, here in this base, also no medics. Nobody has healing yet. Conscripts moving to take control of that strategic point over there on the left. Mines going down and flares.
It is
Those
finished.
grenadiers can barely engage with that level of HP. I really feel like Vulpine should try and get some healing up. It's pretty bad to have no healing on with a 5 grenadier opening. Ooh, mortar destroyed the flare. That was kind of lucky. 6 squad of Grens in production now. That could be a wipe. That is so gonna be a wipe. Wow, really? They're so hurt. Guess they just weren't close enough.
Awaiting orders. Taking fire. We've been spotted.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Well, there's that return on investment he was hoping for. Full squad of conscripts wiped by that mortar, pretty much already paid for itself. Any kills it gets from this point forward are just a bonus. He might consider utilizing that as a back capping unit as well.
You need to direct fire.
It had no kills before that shot. All 5 of its kills were in one shot.
We are ready.
Tier 3 being constructed here in the back. He has had incredible map control for the entire game, so trying to rush that Tier 3 up, probably the right call. Once that T-70's done, it's going to put immense pressure on these grenadiers, and any attempt to harass territory is going to get shut down hard. PPSH conscripts will also, of course, be a nice thing to have to put pressure on grenadiers at close range, and flamethrowers good at medium range. Mortar team, wow, almost wipes another squad of conscripts right there. Whoa, what happened here? Rifle grenade, I guess. Flamethrower gets popped. The other squad has to retreat with barely any health remaining. Grenadiers retreat from the left side from those PPSH conscripts. Grenadiers need to heal up here in the base. And Pios are taking control of the VP here in the north. Tier 3 structure is done, and a Soviet mortar has been fielded. They both went with a mortar. A mortar is a good thing to have on this map because of the house in the middle and all of the green cover. You don't want to get base locked, and a mortar is a really nice tool to prevent that from happening. Soviet mortar, I don't know if I think that was as necessary. But I mean, I didn't really think the Oster mortar was necessarily going to be that great either, and clearly I was mistaken. Wiping a squad in one shot, forcing retreat here, so it's helped win 2 separate engagements now.
We are ready to roast the bastard.
Red cover, not good. Has to retreat. Has a long way to retreat, but his retreat path is mostly safe. This is an interesting bunker placement.
We are losing a sector.
Protect against the south flank, sort of. It's defending a strategic point, not the fuel point, so I don't know. Not sure what I think about that, but it will help just generally maintain control over this area and shut down pushes through this direction, so that's a good thing to have. To maintain control of this building in this general area is very important. With a Soviet mortar on the field, it may only last so long. Grenadiers are just going to brute force their way straight into this green cover position and try and force a retreat from these 2 squads. Rifle grenade on the mortar itself. There it goes. Conscripts will be soon to follow.
Enemy has broken our supply lines.
Grenadiers working the cutoff while this squad takes control of the south munitions, and Cheese is sending a squad of combat engineers to the north munitions and a strategic point here. There's the T-70. It's a little late. I feel like he could have queued that up a little earlier. It's on the field now. Should be able to harass these grenadiers quite effectively. Wow, another flamethrower just got popped. And there goes that squad. But he immediately trades the grenadier squad for it, so not the end of the world. His infantry forces are looking a little thin. His decision to take up has left him unable to spam further conscripts. I think he made 6 squads this game. 5. It's not really that many for somebody that went conscript support. So he needs to make sure this T-70 has a really dramatic impact. If he can get maybe 1 or 2 more wipes, he'll get a pretty decent return on investment. But he just suffered engine damage, and an AT gun is on its way. These kind of gambling on the fact that there won't be an AT gun available to counter him here because it's one hit from death. Picks up a couple model losses but no wipes. He needs to pull back for some repairs. If he doesn't repair his engine, he's pretty much just a sitting duck for that pack. Healing has been researched here in the base. He's going to make his way back towards the center, I assume, with those forces quite soon. He also has access to conscript repair now, so he can repair that T-70 pretty quickly. Flamethrower squad harassing territory here in the north, but overall, Oster map control is looking pretty good. Vulpine has opted to go close air support.
Put down your tools and get behind something.
To keep up production of munitions expensive Oster stuff. Maybe throw out some more LMGs.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
2 conscript squads wiped, 1 combat engineer squad wiped, 2 grenadier squads wiped. I think Vulpine is slightly in the lead, but the T-70 being on the field may change that soon. Conscript's moving to take control of the south and will be able to do so pretty much unopposed. Need to not walk into this machine gun bunker though. Mortar fight happening over the building. Soviet mortar's going to reposition a little bit. T-70 catches those Pios really exposed. Oh no. A little lazy about chasing them though. Not sure, they might get away. The AT gun is currently over here. Don't think it has a line. Oh, yes it does. T-70 needs to get clear. Incendiary artillery on the AT gun to try and screen that T-70's retreat. It's about to get Fausted. It's going in very hard right now. He's basically got to kill everything to survive this. AT gun does get cleared. Mortar gets cleared. Grenadiers barely get away. Half-track destroyed. That incendiary artillery in conjunction with the T-70 will kill everything. Main gun destroyed by a Panzerfaust. He does have the munitions for one more. He should be able to kill this thing. It can't harass him as he chases it down because it has no main gun. And I'm pretty sure that self-repair cannot save it from a Panzerfaust, since the Panzerfaust does more damage than self-repair heals. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know it's more. Yep, there it goes.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles. Incendiary artillery barrage ready to fire.
Enemy fire! Bleeding, comrade!
T-70 down, T-34 in production. Late retreat on these conscripts. I think that's another wipe. Easy wipe in the Greg cover right there by those 2 LMG Grens. Laser beamed them down so quick. Soviet mortar also killed by a rifle grenade, I think. So, I don't know. Pretty lethal game on both sides, honestly. These losses are a lot easier for Vulpine to replace than full squad losses are for Cheese to replace. You can't do that at half price. Hit the dirt, protecting them a little. Actually, it's mostly just their green cover. T-34 firing on Grenadiers up here. They need to get out of there. These Grenadiers need to get out of there as well. The T-34 is a pretty serious threat, but in all fairness, Cheese has almost nothing left. Just 3 squads of infantry right now. And nothing else. Meanwhile, Vulpine still has his 4 squads of Grens. He's queuing up some Panzer Grenadiers right now, and his Pios have recruited the AT gun. If you could find a way to damage that T-34's engine and just get it off his back for a little while, he'd be in a pretty strong position, but he's just struggling to deal with the threat of this tank right now.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
And that T-34 is pretty much the only thing between Cheese and... or between Vulpine and victory. Stopping Cheese from losing this game. Anti-tank strafe brings it dangerously low. It should be able to pull back for repairs. Takes out the bunker. If it sticks around to try and destroy that AT gun, it might succeed, but I don't think he's going to risk it. He probably can't afford the loss of that tank, so he needs to get that to safety. Maxim has been fielded here towards the south, and fresh conscripts are in production as well. Meanwhile, Vulpine is fully reinforced and healed and is making his way towards the south to try and secure control of his own team weapons. He needs to clear that thing. Can't quite catch up. And a Maxim may actually cause that AT gun to get away unless it makes this weird maneuver. What was that? Gets cleared. Incendiary artillery is falling. Maxim has to rotate slightly. One squad retreats. Another moves up into close range. He can spam rifle grenades pretty hard as long as he just keeps cranking his fuel into his munitions. Incendiary artillery is blocking any attempt at flanking left, but it doesn't look like it matters. I don't know if that's going to get away. Nope. Maxim cleared. Another squad wiped, bringing Cheese down to just 3 conscripts and his flamethrower. 2 squads of which are trying to repair that T-34 right there. Hoorahing through the capture circle towards the center VP is not going to work. Takes a ton of damage on that approach. Oh, and another squad just got wiped. So many wipes! So many! Jeez, I feel like Cheese is falling really behind now. I don't know if he can win this. He's lost 5 of his 7 cons, his Maxim, and 1 of his 2 combat engineers. And a T-70. Vulpine, by comparison, has lost only 2 Gren squads. He has lost his pack, he needs to get that recruit. He's lost his mortar. Other than that, his losses don't look all that bad. And just look at the numbers! 100 kills to 55 losses right now. Rifle grenade to seal this engagement for the south. Again, this T-34 is the only thing keeping Cheese in this game. Vulpine's decision to go close air support and convert all of his fuel to munitions means he has no tanks. So this is the only advantage that Cheese has over his opponent right now. Panzer Shreks have been upgraded on that Panzer Grenadier squad though.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
AT gun's not even bothering to rotate, just going to continue facing forward while his Panzer Grenadiers protect the flanks. Oh no, he just took engine damage. But a T-70 is on its way to try and help and save this engagement. If that AT gun would just rotate. Oh, and he just retreated. He just retreated. He should have just, I don't know, turned his AT gun. He's just leaving it there. Can't believe this is happening. Panzerfaust on the T-34 will destroy it, so that's something, but his Panzer Grenadiers just got wiped and his AT gun just got wiped. T-70 is up to 6 kills and it's just going to continue rampaging. Getting into close range on those Grens, which still have Panzerfaust on cooldown. This might be another squad wiped. Oh no. And there they go. Meanwhile, Grenadiers are engaging conscripts on the right side. More conscripts trying to take control of territory there as well. The map is almost completely in Oster control right now. Might be a wipe right here. Grenadiers do retreat just in time. He's trying to brute force that T-70 death with just Panzerfaust. This is so inefficient. If he gets another death crit or pops self-repair, there's the self-repair. A Panzerfaust will not be sufficient to kill this. An AT gun shot.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
So much manpower bleed though. Conscripts grabbing the victory point and fuel. This Grenadier squad is going to retreat for some reinforcement and healing in the base. The AT gun has been recovered again. Hopefully this time it will actually receive a little bit of attention. If it doesn't get microed at all, those T-70s are just going to circle it to death. Having lost almost the entire map, Cheese's tank production is suffering. He may just throw some more conscripts out while he waits for another 100 fuel for his next T-34. Against close air support, he doesn't have to worry about Tigers ever hitting the field, so T-34s are pretty okay. T-70s also pretty strong. As long as his opponent doesn't manage to get 2 squads of Panzer Grenadiers out with Shreks. Just blast T-70s to death in one volley. Conscripts have to retreat from the Grenadier blob in the north. Meanwhile, the T-70 is moving to engage in the center. Grenadiers take a lot of damage, will damage the engine, and they will also get away. T-70 is just going to receive some quick repairs and be fine. Stolen mortar, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. There's a mortar there. Yep. Goes for the steel. Meanwhile, Grenadiers on the right side are not being monitored until just in time. preserves them from that rifle grenade. T-70's been fully repaired. Mortar retreating back to the Soviet base. AT gun needs some healing and reinforcement. For now, it's just sitting over there. Considering Vulpine is close air support, he's doing a terrible job of managing the threat of enemy tanks. He needs more Panzerschrecks, more AT guns, and more Teller mines. He doesn't really have any of those things. Except for one AT gun, which is allowing this T-70 to have a field day. It's up to 16 kills already. I mean, I guess he could just Faust it to death, but it's pretty inefficient to try and do that. He needs 3 Panzerfausts to connect with that thing in rapid succession. And he bleeds manpower like crazy trying to get in close range on this thing. And there's a full retreat with nothing protecting his retreat path. T-70 is going to chase. Might get a wipe here. There's a second T-70 behind it to assist. 2 AT guns on the field, massive amounts of Panzerfaust potential right here. One will connect, damaging his engine. The other T-70... Oh no, that's T-34. The other T-34 is not... Maybe not, I don't know. He might go in for an aggressive crush maneuver, but I don't think it's going to work with that AT gun right there. 2 AT guns right there. Here's the attempt. He gets a couple infantry guys, but nothing too serious. Incendiary artillery is going to get dropped on that AT gun. It's not quite positioned to hit the blob of infantry, though. Probably not be... Oh, that little tiny burst of flame over there, though. Actually gets quite a few guys, maybe even a wipe. Guess those guys will be okay. AT guns will kill that T-34, though, with its damaged engine. T-70 continues to pull back to try and get some badly needed repairs. AT guns are highly wounded, though. They're extremely close to getting wiped, and they are overextending big time. What is he doing? Engagement for the south will go to the Soviet player. Flamethrower and conscript squad is enough to take on 1 squad of Pyos. 2 squads of Grens being sent to counter with the T-34 dead. T-70 is again the only actually dangerous thing on the battlefield. Conscripts are available to repair it over there. Rifle grenade way off target. Finishes the fuel for retreating. The stolen Oster mortar is just randomly setting up right here. I don't know if it's going to hit anything. Conscript slowly repairing the T-70. We'll have that back in action quite soon. Fresh Maxim has been fielded as well. Victory point's pretty even. Vulpine's actually behind. There was a moment where he was way in the lead, but that moment seems to have pretty much passed now that T-70 has equalized things with 18 kills, Vet 2, so many wipes. Of course, all of Cheese's T-34 is dying without really accomplishing anything. Certainly doesn't help his situation. Pretty brutally lethal game so far. Vulpine is up to 430 munitions, so we should probably stop transferring fuel and just try and get some map back. Start thinking about transitioning to Tier 3. He doesn't have to go Tier 4 because everything in Oster Tier 3 is fine against everything in Soviet Tier 3. Panzer IV counters pretty much all of Soviet Tier 3 pretty well. But Tier 4 would be fine if he wants to make a Panther. It's not really necessary, but it'll be fine. But he doesn't have that much fuel to spare right now. He's spamming a lot of rifle grenades, which is a lot of munitions for very little return on investment to kill 1 conscript model. I mean, all he has to do is right-click this building. He will win that.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Eventually that building will be destroyed. More rifle grenade spam. Jeez, that's way too much. She didn't even stagger them. The second grenade did basically nothing. T-70 goes in on these 2 squads. AT gun shot misses. Big mortar hit right there, and he makes a full retreat. Panzerfaust from the squad flanking around the north will damage its engine. Full squad of Pyos wiped here in the north by these conscripts as well, not being monitored. Grenadiers continue to move to harass and take territory. Anti-tank guns are again really wounded and have no infantry protecting them from this flamethrower. You need to get back into the base and heal up and make sure to always protect them with Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers moving to push that flamethrower away just barely in time. The T-70 has pulled back for some repairs here on this strategic point.
The sector is at risk.
ton of grenadiers making their way in this direction. May halt repairs though. Another T-34 in production from Cheese now.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
AT strafe on the T-70 is moving to dodge, just barely. Self-repair to finish things off. Grenadiers
We have a
retreat.
new T-34 standing by.
Hopefully this T-34 will do better than its predecessors, which is entirely possible, honestly. Oster hasn't really scaled up that much in terms of anti-tank since the first T-34 hit the field. Finally, that T-70's reign of terror does come to an end, though.
Our vehicle has been lost in the
Anti-tank
defense
guns
of the Rodina.
find an opportunity, and it goes down.
Our territory is
Water
falling
in the
apart.
center retreats. Anti-tank gun might be fine.
The enemy
Only
is
three
reduced to 200 points.
people left in that squad. T-34 going in pretty hard. What is that grenadier blob doing? Just walked into a Molotov. They're all gonna retreat rather than firing a Panzerfaust because of that terrible maneuver they just took, and it looks like this T-34 will die without having accomplished much of anything, just like its brethren. All right, so much for that.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Down! Grenade! Taking fire!
Rifle grenade is off target. So much munitions have been wasted this game. And by munitions, I mean munitions and fuel. Fuel being furiously converted into munitions all game long, and he's just spending it all on rifle grenades that are either off target or do little to no damage. Really needs to rethink the expenditure of his resources. It's extremely inefficient.
We are targets! Out! Grenade! We are in the shit now!
That grenade's not even working. There it goes. Oh man, killed one whole conscript. So much value. Grenadiers on the road engaging this flamethrower.
The enemy.
I don't know, that could be a wipe. Run, little combat engineers! Wow, barely gets away. Meanwhile, another near miss. Conscripts fail to seal the deal on that Grenadier squad. Looks like map control has mostly gone to the Soviet player, including victory point control, so the clock's starting to tick pretty quickly against Vulpine. He really needs to make something happen. Another T-70 is now on the field, and again, he doesn't... I don't know, he might be able to manage this well. He needs to try and take that thing out with his AT guns. He's just going to leave them here. He's probably going to struggle against that thing, and if he retreats prematurely against it, or just leaves himself very vulnerable like this, probably going to have just as dramatic an impact as the last one that got fielded. So much for that squad. Grenadier blob forcing a retreat over here. Did he really try and kill the T-70 with the dive bomb just now? No. Where did that dive bomb land? Something got wiped. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what that killed. Oh wow, that fell in the base and wiped a conscript squad. One conscript squad. That's not that bad.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Combat engineers!
The enemy has 100 points remaining.
Couple squads reinforcing in the base. T-70's up 6 kills, already off to a pretty strong start. This AT gun needs some healing. Should let that heal before he sends it back into the battlefield. This one needs healing as well. Pulling back for just that. Maxim set up on the fuel point. Another squad just got wiped by something. I don't even know what happened.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Stolen mortars up to 5 kills. Doing pretty
The
okay.
enemy has 75
T-70 is
points
about to be
remaining.
fully repaired. Only 75 points left. Really needs to get victory points back under his control. I don't even know where this Grenadier blob is going. I guess to recover that flamethrower. Incendiary artillery just got dropped in the retreat path of these Grens, and the T-70 is moving to try and force that retreat. AT gun is horribly positioned for this push. It does slowly move to try and engage, but it just got cleared. Panzerfaust connecting with that T-70, damages its engine, but there's one wipe. I don't know if this squad's gonna get away. Big flame crit on the retreat, T-70 firing, PPSH conscripts finishing them off. Wow. Pretty nicely placed incendiary artillery. He should not have retreated through that. He should have, I don't even know. He should have done that engagement so much better. These two squads nowhere nearby to support in that. This AT gun nowhere nearby to support during that. T-70 just wreaking havoc. AT strafe desperately attempting. Wow, almost, almost. But no, it was not meant to be. T-70 is still alive. Fuel is falling into Soviet control. Victory points falling into Axis control over here on the right side to slow things down. The clock will be stopped at 30 VPs. Another strafe coming in to delay further repairs. Anti-infantry strafe on the conscripts, but another anti-tank strafe is not possible for 2 full minutes, so that T-70 is pretty much fine.
Fire on this position!
Maxim setting up in a red cover road against LMG Grens is probably just gonna die. Rifle grenade just to seal the deal. Wipes the squad. There's a T-34. I'm surprised the Cheese doesn't just make T-70s, because thus far this game the T-34s have been useless and the T-70s have been devastating. Which makes sense against close air support, but at the same time he needs to be mindful of Teller mines, which Vulpine has not planted a single one, I don't think, for whatever reason. He definitely should have. He spent so much munitions on useless rifle grenades and not a single Teller mine placed. Which would one-shot these T-70s that he's having so much difficulty with. I mean, Cheese doesn't even have a minesweeper. Rapid conscription. Interesting choice. At this point, he's probably just gonna flood the victory points with bodies and hope for the best. It'll probably work. Honestly, it'll probably work. Taking control of the south now. Center as well. AT gun in the general area. T-34 working on these infantry, but it doesn't have nearly the devastating impact T-70 does. Panzer Grenadiers jump in the house to be able to engage that T-34 semi-safely. T-70 engaging infantry from the south. Moving up on the AT gun right here. Probably be able to clear that easily enough. Grenadiers in the center also. Dread getting wiped. I don't even know what they're doing. They're gonna die. So much for those. These Grenadiers also about to get wiped. Man. The T-34 does die without accomplishing anything, as predicted. That's the 4th T-34 to go down with less than like 3 kills. Wow, look at that wipe though. The lethality of this game is through the roof. On both sides. The difference being that Cheese has had victory point control the entire time. Look at that hit the dirt usage. Beautiful. He has to retreat anyway from a bundle grenade. 2 squads of Grenadiers desperately attempting for the center. I don't think he's gotten a single squad out of rapid conscription. He didn't lose enough infantry. Just his tank.
Waiting for your command.
More Grenadiers being desperately queued up. 19 points remaining when he stops the clock with the Grenadier squad in the center, which is about to get wiped. Oh. There they go. AT gun is too late to get in position to protect. And another squad wiped by T-70s. How many of these squad wipes have been to the T-70? T-70, I don't know, he's actually utilized all 3 of his squad wiping mechanics, the incendiary, T-70, and PPSHs equally. Mostly the T-70 though. 18 kills.
Area secured.
AT gun dodges that dive bomb narrowly. T-70 goes for another wipe. Easy. 2 shots. Dead AT gun. He's not going to survive that engagement though. Has to pull away. And those Panzer Grenadiers. Conscripts. With an LMG-42 taking control of the center VP. If he threw up some sandbags, well, it doesn't matter. Game's over. Just juggling for VPs. And that is the game. Well, I have to say, Vulpine did a terrible job of managing the threat of T-70s. He looked like he had the game pretty much in the bag a couple different times, but he wasted so much munitions this game on rifle grenades. It was pretty ridiculous. So much. Pretty awful AT gun positioning as well. No teller mines placed. Just could not manage the threat of T-70s at all, and just got bullied off the field by light tanks for 35 minutes. GG, Allies win.